Hey everyone, welcome back to the Karchermakes Podcast. I'm Andrea, coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania, where I live with my boyfriend and my 2 Yorkie puppies. And this is just my little corner of the world where I like to talk about all things crafty. Right now that's primarily knitting, but I do also enjoy crochet, spinning, weaving, you name it. I love it. Never met a craft I didn't like. I'm a serial crafter. So Advent season has come to an end and I'm sad. I really enjoy watching Vlogmases. So many good Vlogmases out there this year, too many to name. I really enjoy opening up the little yarn packages every day. That was fun, and I'll show you those later. But I want to talk about the things I made. I actually finished some things this Advent season, which is very much an improvement over prior years. So let's talk about that. First up are my Advent socks, and I'm gonna need some improvements here, but these are the Advent socks that I made, and these are Freckled Whimsey. I believe the color this year was called Hearth and Home, and this is on the Serendipity DK base, and I managed to do the math correctly, which again is amazing for me. I'm not a math person, but I was able to get all 24 stripes in the sock. And then I used the accompanying brown mini skein for the heel and the cuff here. So I do my DK weight socks on US 3s, 48 stitches, and I noticed I must be becoming a looser knitter over time, because I noticed that these were, and you can kind of see them here on the sock locker. I did wear these, but you can see on the sock locker, they were a little kind of baggy, and I don't think it has anything to do with the yarn, and I think it has everything to do with the fact that I'm becoming a looser knitter over time. So I still love them though. Look at those stripes, look at these colors. It's just amazing. So what I think I'm gonna do is next year, I still want to go with the DK, because again, this base, and I talked about this in the last video, if you saw it, this base is so soft and it's almost like velvet. I really enjoy Freckled Whimsy's striping and the base that they use. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm either going to go down to a 2.5 and stay at the 48 stitches, or I'm gonna have to stay at the 3 and then do less stitches. Like, I don't know yet, I'll have to experiment. But in any case, I do love how these turned out, and they came out really great. But again, nobody's perfect. We're always improving our knitting, and we're gonna talk about this later, by the way, how to always improve your knitting. So, you know, I'm gonna take the win. I'm gonna take the win on these, and I'm still gonna wear them. I'm still gonna love them. But next time, I'm gonna do better, and that's all you can do. So next up for finished objects, it's actually 2, but it was 1 project. So I finished my Imagined Landscapes mystery gnome along called Snow Matter What. Look at him. It actually made 2 little guys. So if you're not familiar, Imagine Landscapes apparently does this every year. This is the first year that I've done it. And the yarn I used, by the way, is Rising Tide Fiber Company in the Snow Matter What mini set. Came with all 4 of these colors. So it's a mystery knit along. They release 1 little bit of the pattern every day. So we started with all these like little random pieces, and I wasn't sure where it was going. I think I talked about that in the last video. But what we ended up with is this cute little snowman and his friend Mr. Knightley. And what they do is they release, again, like every 3rd day, there's a piece of the pattern, and there's like stories that go along with it, and even coloring pages. And then I think 1 or 2 days it was like a recipe. Super fun, like can't recommend it enough. I love how these turned out. They're gonna look so cute on my tree next year, where I have all of my hand knit items and ornaments. So yeah, I thought they were cute, and probably will definitely do it next year. It was, I liked the knit along because it was enough that it wasn't overwhelming, and it was just a tiny bit a day, and it was easy to keep up with. Unlike the Stephen West Mystery Knit Along, which I'm still not done Clue 3 on. We're not going to talk about that today. If I ever get it done, I'll talk about it, but not today. Not today. So yeah, they turned out so cute. Really recommend. She also has other gnome patterns too. I think once the mystery part is over, they release the pattern as a whole pattern, and then you can go back and do it that way. So yeah, super cute. So those are the finished objects that I have. But before I talk about my works in progress, I want to talk about what I'm wearing. So this is the, and I'm going to stand up so you can get a good, or not a good, look at it, rather. So this is the Pixelated Pullover by Jennifer Beaumont. And this is probably the third, fourth sweater I ever made. First Colorwork garment that I made. And let me tell you, it is riddled with issues and mistakes. I don't care. I love it. This is probably my most worn knit. I've worn this so many times. The yarn is Neighborhood Fiber Company. They're a Baltimore company, woman-owned. Carita owns it. And the colors, and the way, I don't know if they still do this, but the way they used to do their colors, they were all named after neighborhoods in Baltimore. So this green color is called Canton, which, by the way, my friend Kimmy lives there. Hi, Kimmy, if you're watching. You're probably not, because you think yarn's crazy and probably think I'm crazy for talking about it. But this is Canton. The yellow is Penn North. And then the kind of charcoal black is Upton. And this is, again, on their, trying to remember the base name. It's a DK weight. Okay, so let's talk about why I said there's so many mistakes in this. Number one, I made this in 2016. I had only been knitting for like a year and a half at that point, so there was a lot I didn't know. There was a lot I didn't even know to like look up, or that I could look it up, and I kind of winged it. I knew how to follow a pattern, I knew how to do the stitches, but in terms of like how to deal with the yarn management and the color work, I had no clue. And I'm gonna be honest, until I started another project fairly recently, I still had no clue. I know better now though. I did some research and now I know better. So let's talk about it. First, I feel like the collar here is not enough rows. I don't know. I feel like I would like a longer ribbed collar here. The sleeves, I did not do a stretchy bind off. And luckily I have small wrists, because otherwise I would be in trouble here. They're quite tight and I can't pull them up any further than that. So I learned how to fix that mistake a long time ago. But yeah, super kind of tight there. And then you can also kind of see it here in the sleeve. So I did not know how to manage color work colors with more than one color, obviously. So when you're doing two color work, what I found out recently is that you have a dominant color and then you have kind of the background color. And the way that you hold the yarn makes a huge difference on how those colors kind of overlay or sit next to each other. I went down a whole deep dive on YouTube. Roxanne Richardson has a whole series about this. I watched it probably 3 weeks ago and I just learned so much from her. So again, you can kind of see it here, but mostly you can see it right here. So what I did was I don't hold the yarns in both hands when I do color work. I hold it in my left hand, which is a whole other deep dive we can go down one day about how I knit weird. But so I was just kind of willy-nilly going along, knitting. Oh, I do a yellow. Okay, I do some black. I do a yellow. I do some black. I did know to catch my floats. I did not do it properly. And that's why you can see kind of some of the catching behind there. I don't know if it's coming up on camera. You can most definitely see it in person. But since then, I've learned that I'll show it here on the sleeve. So again, when you're kind of doing a background color with just a few pops of color, you want to hold that pop of color dominant. And again, Roxanne does a better job of explaining this. I'll link it below. And if you don't do that, then it just kind of gets sucked in. You can see it here. It just kind of gets sucked into the other stitches, and then they don't stand out, and it doesn't look the best. And also it makes it kind of tight if you don't tension or catch your floats properly. And you can really see that right here. Like, that is so tight. Again, luckily I'm not a buff person with some big muscles, but yeah, that's kind of a mess. So all that to say, I still love the sweater. I will wear it forever. I love these colors, although in hindsight, I maybe wouldn't have put yellow and black together because we're a Ravens family, not a Steelers family, and that can be confusing for some people. But I would probably make this again. The pattern itself was super easy to follow. I didn't even follow the actual kind of colorwork pattern for the little pixels. I just kind of did whatever felt right there at the time. But otherwise, it fits great, minus the tightness and the ribbing bind off. But, you know, I think it's great. And I get a lot of compliments on it. Not that we knit for compliments, but they're always nice. And yeah, it's a great pattern. Some good memories in here. I bought the yarn at my first Maryland Sheep and Wool. So that was a fun memory to have a little garment from. Okay. So now let's talk about the next two projects and why they're going to be way better and hopefully done correctly. We'll see. So the first one, and I talked about these in the last podcast. I'll link it. But these are and it's all tangled up. I apologize. Oh my gosh, this is a mess. This is a mess. Okay, it's all tangled up, so I'm not going to pull the yarn up. But these are and I got corrected. It's Julenatt mittens by Skeindeer. And they're a really pretty color work, kind of traditional mitten pattern. And I tried to follow what Roxanne Richardson had taught me via her videos on the color management, and it's coming out so much better. Now, I did hear on these, are they snowflakes? Are they poinsettias? We had a whole debate about this at my dinner table. I feel like they look like poinsettias. My boyfriend said they look like snowflakes, but whatever. These little motifs here. I did not carry the small dots of gray dominant, and I think you can see that here. I was carrying the blue dominant against the gray background, but in these little sections here, you can kind of see how they're getting lost. It's okay. It's a mitten. But for the most part though, and this is and again, it's all tangled up. You can see a lot more here, how much better that looks. These blue stitches are popping. You can really see the definition of the trees on the white background. And it just looks so much better. And it's also, I followed how to catch floats from Roxanne's videos. And look how nice they look. I mean, that is like beautiful in and of itself. But yeah, that's the progress on the Julenatt Mittens by Skeindeer. And the yarn on this is Sadness Yarn, Sunday, Fingering Weight, Non-Superwash Merino. Very pretty. All right. And then the next is my Christmas Eve cast on. And I'll put a video all the way at the end if you care to watch me unwrapping this yarn on Christmas Eve. It'll be at the end. This is the bag that came in the kit. It was a little bundle kit from Fangirl Fibers. And it came with this Merry Grinchmas bag, which I love. Max is the best. So it came with 2 colors, 1 full skein, 1 50-gram skein. This one is called Stink, Stank, Stunk, which is hysterical. This one is called Whoville, which is a perfect name for this pink color. And it also came with a pattern. The pattern is called the Grinch's Heart Socks, I believe, and it's by Chit Knits. And what to my wondering eyes do appear, but it's a Colorwork sock. So luckily, I watched all those Roxanne videos and learned what not to do. I practiced that on my Julenatt mittens, and now I can incorporate further learning into my Grinch sock. So actually, it's upside down. Let's do that. So 2-color work. You're doing these chevrons with these hearts. Now I will say, I'm using 3 different needle sizes for these socks, and for a reason. So number 1, I mentioned I'm a tight knitter and I am getting looser, but I wanted to not make the same mistake that I did on this sweater where it's just super tight. So for the ribbing, I did size 1.5. For the color work, I did size US 2. And then I'm going back to my normal size 1 for the heel. And then the rest of the foot will be size 1. But these are turning out so pretty. Look how you can see the actual stitches pop on the green, and that's because I'm holding that pink color dominant against the green background. Lovely. Now, I will say, I tried these on, and around this section here, where it's the hearts, it's a tiny bit tight, but I also know that because this is superwash yarn, it will definitely stretch out more. So, I mean, it fits. I get it on my foot, it's fine, but it is a little tight. So I probably should have tensioned my floats a little lighter there. But I love how these are turning out. These colors are so pretty together. And these are gonna be great. I mean, I know they're a Christmas Eve cast on, but they're gonna be great for Valentine's because they have cute little hearts on it. So yeah, working through that. Oh, it also came with the stitch marker as well. Look at him, he's cute. That'll be in the video at the end. So next up, let's talk all things Advent. This year I had 3 Advents, and I talked a little bit about this in the last video. I had the Toy Story themed Advent from Fangirl Fibers, the Christmas Vacation themed Advent set from Polka Creek, which is actually 24 Canadian dyers that all coordinated together to put this Advent together, and it's just the logistics on that amazes me. And then I got the Teeny Button Studio book themed Advent, which was 4 weeks of 50-gram skeins. So I'm gonna start with the Fangirl Fibers, and I'm not gonna name all these, y'all. Like, we're gonna be here all day if I do that. I'll post a little snippet of the card with all the names on it. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that this was sort of fade-ish. Not exactly a fade, but cohesive. These colors are very cohesive. These 3 here were all very, very light and look very similar. There's very little kind of contrast between those, but in any case. Then it goes down into this gray. So I had intended to make the trifle wrap from Helen Stewart out of this advent. Now that I've seen it, I've changed my mind. I think that wrap, just due to the nature of how it's designed, would look better with either a fade or colors that are very cohesive, like they're all bright or they're all pastel or they're all like rich colors. And this is just kind of like a little bit of everything, although it does kind of fade as far as like the colors go. The kind of intensity is different. Like these are kind of neutral, these are kind of bright, these are kind of pastel. And I don't know if I'd really be happy with that wrap with this yarn. So keep that in mind. We're gonna talk about that in a second. But meanwhile, this is the Christmas Vacation one from Polka Creek. Lots of blues in here this year. Very happy with this one. Exciting colors, 24 Dyers, which I had only actually heard of maybe 3 of them before. So that was fun getting introduced to all them. Yeah. So what am I gonna do with those? Oh, they both came with full skeins also for day 25. So this is the Fangirl Fibers one, and it's called Andy's Room, and it's this really pretty blue. I love this blue. I think I have a plan for it already. I don't know. We'll see, but really pretty. And then this is the Christmas Vacation one came with a half skein, and it's just bare, plain white. This one is actually Teeny Button Studio. So the Teeny Button Studio weekly advent, again, 50 gram skeins, all book themed, are here. Pretty sure I'm making shorty socks out of these. Pretty sure. And then this is the full skein that came with that one. Really pretty, neutral colors. Again, out of my wheelhouse. I'm not really a neutral, as you can tell, person. But super pretty. Those will make pretty socks. So what I think I'm going to do with these advents, both of them perhaps, I have to wait to see the pattern. So Amy Gunderson posted a couple days ago that, and I'll put a little picture of it in here, posted that she designed a cardigan, and it's all of these, it's very reminiscent of a quilt with like half square triangles, half triangle squares. I'm not even sure what the right way to say that is, but I think that would be really pretty with these advents because you don't really need colors that are cohesive to one another for this to look good. Basically, you need a light or a medium and a dark to make the square out of the 2 triangles. So I think I'm gonna do that. I really wanna wait and see what, the pattern comes out Friday, December 29th. But I really wanna see what the yardage requirements are. I think it's going to be just fingering weight, but it may be fingering weight held double. I don't know. But yeah, I just thought that was so nice. And I think that might work a little better for this particular advent. I do know I also want to start knitting with some heavier weight yarns. The past year, I just did so much sock weight, fingering weight projects, a lot of socks obviously, but even some of the shawls that I did, they were, you know, lighter weight yarn, and I kind of had this desire that I want to knit with like thicker yarn, DK or higher. I do have some thoughts, and I can make a separate video about that, but about also making more sort of garments. I make a lot of accessories, shawls, scarves, cowls, hats, socks, but I really want to make more sweaters because, you know, I just don't have enough of those to wear. And like I said, this one gets worn out a lot. So that's all we have here today. I'll be back in a week or two with some more progress, hopefully, on all these projects. Maybe some new projects started. And if you don't mind, give it a like, give it a subscribe. That really helps content creators grow their audience, grow the community. I'd really appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. I love reading your comments, love responding to them, and enjoy what's left of the year. Only a few days left. Have a happy new year, and we're gonna start 2024 fresh with improving our knitting. So until then, happy making. Hey everyone, so it's Sunday, December 24th here now in my time, and I just wanted to take a quick minute here. We're about to run to a Christmas party for the rest of the night, and I wanted to take a quick minute to open up my Christmas Eve cast on package. So I picked up the Grinch Who Stole Christmas Eve yarn package from Fangirl Fibers, and I do have her advent for Toy Story. You can see the bag there. They're so cute. So I want to get this cast on so that I have something to take to the party, because that's who I am. I bring yarn to parties. I really need to get that shirt that I've seen that says, if I can't bring my yarn, I'm not coming. I really need that shirt because if I can't bring my yarn, I'm not coming. So I slit the bag open because it was super loud the first time I tried recording this. So bear with me on the noise. So again, do not open until December 24th. It's about 3:30 here, so I think I'm past. I've waited long enough. So here's the yarn. It's so pretty. Look at it. Look at it. So this is 80/20 Super Mersh Merino nylon fingering weight. This one is 100 grams. This one is 50 grams. And the names are Stink, Stank, Stunk, and Whoville. I'm assuming they're in order. So this is Whoville. This is Stink, Stank, Stunk. I don't think it really matters either way, but look how pretty that is. I love these colors. And these are going to get wound up immediately so I can take them to this party. It's going to happen. It also came with a project bag, and this is very similar to the style of the one that came with the Advents, but look how cute this is, guys. Like, look at it. Merry Grinchmas, and look at Max. Let's look at Max. Max is my favorite from that show. What is your favorite Grinch character? I know a lot of people love Cindy Lou Who. She looks very cute too. My favorite's Max. I'm a dog person. Love him. He's so cute. So there's the bag for that yarn to go in immediately. And it came with a bag of extras that I did open only because it's coming with a pattern also, which is amazing. Like, you get everything you need for a Christmas Eve cast on, right? And the pattern code's in here, so I realized that after the fact, so I put that back in there. But she also included these little stitch markers. We have the Grinch there, and these acrylic, sparkly, like no snag, there's no seam or anything on them, stitch markers. I love that style. So yeah, look how cute he is. He's ready to make some socks, y'all. And also came with some hot cocoa, which will definitely be used. We love spiked hot cocoa here. And some little Hershey Kisses. Fun fact, Hershey, Pennsylvania is about an hour-ish, 45 minutes, an hour north of me. And that's where they make all the Hershey Kisses and candy. The town smells like chocolate. And if you ever have the privilege and opportunity to go, I highly recommend it. Very cool. Little treats. And also, like I mentioned, there's a pattern coding here so we can make some socks. And I'm going to go do that right now. So back to future Andrea, whatever she's showing you, I'm sure it's amazing. But I hope everybody had a good holiday, whatever it is that you celebrate. Even if you don't celebrate, I hope it was fantastic. Hope you got to spend some time with your family. A lot of people have off work this time of year. Just that in and of itself is a gift, so enjoy.